Lamaze and Hickstead, a perfect day at Spruce Meadows.
In 2019, Spruce Meadows launched its Cavalry FC soccer team. They had a great season in 2019, and this year, for our 45th anniversary, they were to be playing on the grounds of Spruce Meadows.
And oh, how Cavalry FC and their fans wish they were taking to ATCO Field for season number 2 of the Canadian Premier League, but as we all know, that's been put on hiatus. However, the players have returned to training and they're enjoying all of Spruce Meadows to themselves. Talk about a place that allows for social distancing, where the thousands of horses here for the summer series might be on the turf of Spruce Meadows. Now it's just the Cavalry, and they're waiting the green light to see when the Canadian Premier League will advance into season number 2. So much accomplished in that first year, including being the winners of the spring and fall season, including going 4 rounds in the Canadian Championships and defeating the Vancouver Whitecaps before finally succumbing to the mighty Montreal Impact, who ended up winning the Canadian Championship. Coach of the Year, Player of the Year with Marco Carducci. It was an amazing year, and the story of Cavalry FC is really something we all cherish here at Spruce Meadows. It will be a hallowed ground for football with the best in the world playing, and many of those best being Canadians.
There's no ceiling, there's no glass ceiling here. Everything is possible. We no longer have to send our kids overseas. They can stay and play and follow their dreams in their hometown city in front of their friends and family.
It is about building a stronger community.
So our club is new, but the heritage of the game is existing, and that shows with the homage that we paid with the original soccer ball on our logo. Also, the traditions here at Spruce Meadows are going to be an important part of the Cavalry FC, with the ethos and the values that hold dear to Spruce Meadows.
A nice run up the middle here. Nico slides it ahead. Camargo spinning through the legs of a defender, and a great save. Pally now headed in. Following up on the play, Pasquati. A gorgeous goal for Cavalry FC.
I've got probably the best and worst kept secrets here as I announce. Nick Ledgewood and Sergio Camargo are the first 2 signings for Cavalry Football Club.
My heartfelt thanks to you guys, because looks like you believe what we believe. I think you're ready for professional soccer league.
Hey Cavalry FC fans, it's another edition of Sergio TV. Who is the best dancer on the team?
I'd put you in there, Serge.
It's like something like that.
Welcome to 20 Questions. Do you have a favorite word?
Favorite word? I use whack a lot.
Spell Nico Giantsopoulos.
No chance.
Okay, good try.
What your reaction was in the El Clasico as the 15-year-old dribbled past you?
I didn't fall over.
He fell over on his bum?
If there was 3 points on the line, the kid's going in the stands.
Exactly.
Just want to thank all my fans, thank everybody. Peace.
Another chance, it's blocked. Corner earlier this match, this one into the box, another chance, and another goal. The Cavs maybe putting this one away. It is 2-0 in the 78th minute.
The Cube finds Ledgerwood, and it ball goes into the back of the net. The captain of Cavalry opens a scoring, and what a celebration. There's Waterman, comes down with it, Pasquale at the death! The substitute, he plays hero, somehow, someway. Ball over top, it's Malonga, he goes down, was there contact? There was! It's Malonga. Johnson guessed right, but Malonga gets the equalizer as Malonga silences the Tim Hortons Field crowd. A chance! Carducci punches clear. Here's Escalante! Oh, what a save! Crepeau to the rescue, saying, no way, Jose, what a chance! A chance for David to slay Goliath as the young horses from Cavalry with a chance to extend their legs away from home and a chance to upset the Vancouver Whitecaps. Ball played to the top, Jordan Brown on the run, can he get there? He does, Brown, back of the net! Jordan Brown scored the first goal in Cavalry history, and what a moment here! Shock and awe! Escalante, far post, he's there, and it's in! Dominic Zator! What a response! Here comes the Cavalry!
Well, it was a perfectly executed game plan, Simon. And I love it when a plan comes together.
To the left-hand side for Malonga. Camargo. And Cavalry are back
at it. We've played 4 games against MLS competitions, more established clubs, and they've been 1-goal games. That shows the strength of we are, and we're less than 100 days old.
give me another 100 days and see where we're at.
You weren't sure if he was going to send the ball in the box, but he says, no, I'm going to try for a goal.
Nick Ledgerwood takes responsibility, scores. Here's Pasquati. Zator still forward. Bouchard, that's 4. Left-footed Mike tried to curl one. Oh, it's beautiful.
And pacing Asua, Dinich comes straight through Escalante. This time goes to the left. The captain of Cavalry makes it 1-0 here in the 27th minute. Dominic, dominant. Ball played through. Pepple. Williams slides through. Knocked down, knocked across. Back of the net. Easy as can be. It's Joel Waterman. His first Canadian Premier League goal. How do you like that?
Very interesting indeed. The opening goal, 7 minutes into the second half. Play by Morel, back in with interest, and it's gone straight in. It's 4-1.
From distance, save Henry, rebound, Malonga. Here's Brown, another overlap, Mavilla to Malonga, he does it again. Cavalry retakes their lead 2-1.
Like, welcome to Calgary for me.
You know, I've got to give credit to our grounds crew here, because I don't know if you've seen out on the social media, at 4 a.m. they're out here brushing the snow off it, getting the heat lamps to it, right down to the wire. We moved the pitch. And we said as a team, we have to put on a performance, not only for them, but the fans that brave the cold with us. And, you know, to come off there, I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
The spring season title is taken. Cavalry FC, your first ever winners of the spring season.
They're ready. They're ready. There's been a lot of questions asked for them. They always respond, so they're ready.
Ashley.
Was it physically loose, mentally tight? They're wired. They know what they have to do, and they're ready for it.
All right, that's it. Done.
Forever first.
It's been a season full of them. First game, first goal, first win, and today, the first leg of the inaugural Canadian Premier League Finals. Tristan Borges. Save!
What a save!
Carducci, are you kidding me?
Massive save by Carducci.
It's Pasquale. DeBoucher, far post, Malonga's there, Malonga over top. First really good chance of the match. Sator plays it all across. Anchored Miss John straight down and over the top. Malonga, second clear chance for Dominique Malonga, second miss, agonizingly so.
Yeah, obviously really disappointing to not get it today. It felt like it was coming for us, and I thought we were going to get one and at least take it to penalties, if not nick another, because we definitely showed up tonight.
All year long, and especially lately, we've been prolific here. And yeah, it just wasn't our day in terms of getting a goal. Obviously, we threw everything at them, and it didn't fall for us. I think on another day we put a couple in earlier, and we can see that game out. But again, you can't fault the guys for the effort.
So thank you, a heartfelt thank you, because we couldn't be here without them. I mean, they're going to feel this with us, but I think what we've seen is we will fight to represent them, and we never give up. We just run out of time, and I think for us to just go around and say thank you, I'd like to say it individually to every single one of them, and I hope the clap and the salute and this is just my message to them to say we appreciate you being in the fight with us. I think we just want to make a difference in people's lives. Some people are telling us what it means to them, to the city, emotionally connected with the side, and they're in. What we want to do is take everybody with us on this journey.
He's someone I trust, I look up to, and everything he says I take to heart. He's been like a role model.
You can say he's a great motivator, and he's just a great manager. Something I haven't really had before in this way.
Nothing too specific I want to share now, but he's very good at his job.
And I owe a lot to him in terms of when I was at a point in my career where I didn't really know what was next. He was the first one to show me that he wanted me to be his number one.
The key is the way you deal with people, and Tommy is a good example of that. He's great. A great leader, he's great with people, he communicates very well.
I had to suffer with him a little bit as well. He took me out after 25 minutes against Edmonton, but it seemed to work out for him and have the right hand and make the right decision in those moments, because we ended up winning that game 3-0.
Felt like I knew Tommy before I met him. Tommy, what you see is what you get, right? He's a very charismatic guy.
Listen, pretty or gritty, it all counts as 3 points, so we'll take it.
Some things that he says.
We like winning. We're not embarrassed to say it. We're a team that doesn't make excuses, we make adjustments. Resilience, adapt and overcome. If iron sharpens iron. This is Canadian soccer. Like the best birthday party ever, I think.
He has that, right? He has that, always he has something to say that will stick, and so we'll finish off with adapt and overcome probably.
I think for a coach, there's so much more than just being, someone who draws X's and O's on a board. I think something that makes him special as a coach, and it kind of resonates in the culture we built as a team, is he can be, on one hand, the hard-hitting coach and make sure that he holds those standards for you, and you know that he has high expectations in terms of the performance and everything you're going to put out on the field. But he balances it with being someone who you can relate with, someone you can speak with.
The relationship I have with Tommy is something special, and it's something that I'll always cherish. Marco has been unbelievable this year.
Carducci diving to his left.
For many people, he's the best goalkeeper in the league.
Terrific save at the death from Carducci.
I think he's one of the best keepers in Canada.
You're not asking for somebody to win you every single game, but you want somebody that's going to be there. And Marco, he ticks all the boxes of what a modern goalkeeper should be.
The way he plays and the way he he acts, how calm he is. He's very calm.
You know, he can play with his feet, he can distribute, he can make saves, he can take crosses. He's making that save to keep it a one-goal game.
And that helps us really to calm the game down as well and makes an impact and follows along. It starts from the back and goes all the way to front.
In and out the field, he's just very mature, very composed.
There's like a quiet commitment to being a professional. I think Marco, if we trained 200 times this year and played 38 games, he was there every single time.
The PK in the final.
Save!
What a save!
Carducci, are you kidding me?
Massive save by Carducci.
Was amazing. You know, when you needed him, he was there.
Without him, we probably wouldn't have done that well this season. He's come out with so many fantastic saves.
I'm a big fan of Marco Carducci. I'm just glad he plays for us.
There's much more to come from him.
Let's go.
It's very exciting to be able to see the boys as well. Even though we're social distancing, it's nice to kind of be back in the environment as well, being out here in Spruce Meadows on the nice grass fields. I mean, it's what you've been waiting for.
Just to be out here and to see the care and everything they've put into these sessions, even though it's a bit different than I think what everybody's used to, it's unbelievable. You know, some distance chats with some of the guys and Tommy and his staff. It's just nice to be back around with everybody and start to build up that culture and camaraderie again. It's quite cool actually that we're able to do these small group kind of individual sessions, because it allows Tommy and the staff to work with guys individually on certain position specific stuff.
Being able to adjust movements and as well pin like mid-range to longer range passes, so it's kind of more position specific, which has been nice.
We're doing what we enjoy best, and you know, the rain adds to the drama and everything you want to do. It makes the balls zip. Reminds me of back home. And look, when you're at a place like Spruce Meadows and the grass is in terrific condition, the boys are happy, we're happy. It just feels good to be back on the pitch. And what you've got to do is you've got to take those habits from working as a group of 4, and then what we've done now we've got them into 2 groups of 5. It's, you know, a build out pattern and it's the finish off pattern, and then when you get to put them together, you're just working on patterns of behaviour. And until we can do anything that's contact or possession based, we just got to work on routines and habits. Last year team chemistry was paramount to the success we had on the pitch. Fortunately, we retained a really good core of big personalities and impact players. And then what we've done is we've added just a flavour of this. I think when we've added, you know, if you look at Mo Farsi is really exciting. Jose Hernandez,
Jair Cordova. We're still waiting on Richard Luca coming in. Boskovic, you know, our loan from TFC's been a good addition. Elliot Simmons and Bruno Zebi, you know, it's almost they've been here a long time. But what the guys have done is I talk about it all the time, they had to suffer like everybody did. And we had to find ways to be creative through the Zoom sessions or tactical talks or one-on-one video meetings. So we found a way to try and keep them inclusive. But there's one great football language, and that's being on the pitch. And I think that's probably now where we'll see that energy, the chemistry all come together. Now we're back almost together.
Best Canada Day memory is probably just going out to the Shuswap Lake and doing some water activities and just hanging around.
Last year at Pacific FC, well Victoria, we saw everyone just out and about celebrating. It was very nice.
All of my Canada Day memories are the same. They're just hanging around with my family, having a barbecue, good food, good music, good weather, and that's the recipe.
I think it's a lot of them just growing up here, spending time with family. We were really fortunate. We'd kind of back out onto a couple schools, and there's always be fireworks and whatnot. So just as a young kid, I remember it'd always be a fun evening, just watching the fireworks, spending time with family, and just celebrating the country.
We've got a lake house in Sicamous, and all the family would come in. My wife and her twin sister would get like Canada Day vests, and we'd wear it and watch the fireworks on the lake and finish off with a barbecue. So that was always a nice memory.
Growing up when I was little, just going with the family and watching fireworks down in Lethbridge, getting usually the whole family, friends together. No huge celebration, but just going down by the Henderson Lake there in Lethbridge and watching the fireworks.
My favorite Canada Day food would have to be barbecued chicken drumsticks. Those hit the spot, those are good.
My favourite Canada Day food would be probably my wife's burgers. She makes these great homemade burgers. We cook them up on the barbecue and everyone sits around the fire and has a good time. So my wife's burgers.
Being with the family, my background's Italian, so we would typically eat Italian food anyway, but obviously as a proud Canadian boy, you kind of mix some things in there. But yeah, it's always a beautiful summer day or evening, the barbecue, again, just being out with family, and that was basically the tradition we had.
Favorite Canada Day food or tradition would probably just having a good barbecue. I think if the weather's nice, friends and family are over, somebody's on the barbecue, doing some patties and hot dogs, so that's probably the best food for Canada Day.
Barbecue, having burgers and hot dogs, hanging around with the family.
Maple syrup and some biscuits.
Did you have those last Canada Day?
Yeah.
First time?
First time. Very nice.
And is the maple syrup all it's hyped up to be?
Yeah, had it with some pancakes too.
Yeah.
Happy Canada Day, everyone.
Happy Canada Day to all the Cavalry fans. Hope to see you all soon and hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Hey, did you hear from the real estate agent?
No.
Anything from the agent?
No.
Anywhere from the agent?
No.
Yes, yes, yes!
No. No. No.
It's time for ooey gooey, melt in your mouth, lip smacking, soul affirming, lovely, special, smooth, delicious chocolates. Only from Purdy's Chocolatier.
What I'm most proud of being a Canadian, it's actually being a Canadian. I think I'm adopted, right? So I'm an adopted Canadian, lived here for 18 years, so I think it's an absolute privilege to be in a country of equality and opportunity. and to live my best life. So I think it's the fact that I am a Canadian is probably my most favourite thing.
The thing I'm most proud about being Canadian is just how diverse the country is and how inclusive it is to anybody. Anybody can feel like home, even for adopted people like myself. You can feel at home in Canada.
Nice people, nice people, very generous.
Just how it's such a multicultural country, it's so inclusive, so just proud to be part of this nation.
I think I'm most proud just the diversity that Canada has. You know, it's a very free country. You know, we're accepting of all cultures and religions, and I think that's what grows Canada into Canada. So I'm extremely proud to be Canadian in that sense.
I'm most proud of, as a Canadian, just representing this country and being recognized as a Canadian. I think, you know, Canada's known worldwide for being a welcoming, a warm, and a diverse place. And for me to represent that and to live in a country like I do, it's definitely something to be proud of. And it's you know, something that you wear with honor.
In all of Canada, Spruce Meadows is probably one of the most unique grounds and stadiums that there is, and I think we're very fortunate to be able to call that our home stadium. Not only do we have amazing supporters, but the grounds and the stadium itself is absolutely unbelievable for family, for friends, anybody who wants to come and support. It just has that real intimate football feeling, especially in the evenings.
I think one thing I really value is the culture, because I believe at the end of the day we all want to enjoy what we do, and playing here, the atmosphere that they create, it's a family atmosphere. You feel comfortable, you feel at home, and you feel like, personally for myself, I'm able to express myself on the pitch as a result.
Culture, history, you know, learning some of their history, learning some of the stuff they did in the past, and something that they're doing in the future, and with us and the projects that they have with the horses and everything, it's very amazing. So it means a lot to me, especially Linda, very nice person.
It's an unbelievable organization, just the history behind it. It's something special to be here.
I'm a Calgary boy, born and raised, and to represent my city first and foremost is a massive honor. But to have the opportunity to play here in what's an absolutely incredible you know, venue, it's an absolutely incredible you know, worldwide, world-renowned place to come. And an amazing organization that, you know, to be a part of it now, as a part of the Cavalry, it's incredible. And you know, our stadium is fantastic, our fans are fantastic, and every time we get the chance to play here, it's a dream come true.
What does it mean to represent Spruce Meadows and essentially the Southern family? It's a place that aspires for excellence. You know, the values are strong at this place, and everything that we try to do, try to emulate that. The fact that the Southern family and Spruce Meadows are behind the Cavalry and part of the Canadian Premier League bodes very well for soccer in this country. And I think everything you see that we touch will be that aspirational piece of excellence.
From everybody at Cavalry FC, Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day, everybody. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm Captain Eric Tenorio, the troop leader with the Lord Strathcona Horse Royal Canadian Ceremonial Mounted Troop. Our relationship with Spruce Meadows goes back to 1975. Needing a place to train with our horses, we turned to Spruce Meadows when the regiment was still in Calgary. Happened to be the first year that Spruce Meadows was operational. Together, since 1975, the troop has grown and Spruce Meadows has grown into what you see today. Without the continued support of Spruce Meadows, and especially the Southern family, we wouldn't be able to operate and continue to bring the history of Canada's cavalry to the people of Western Canada.
To be a Strathcona means to persevere in the face of adversity. It means to remember our forefathers and all they've accomplished and honor them and improve upon what they've laid out for us. To be a Strathcona is to put others before oneself.
What does it mean to be Canadian? Well, in my opinion, it's being proud of our beautiful country, whether it comes to our beautiful forests, natural lakes, and mountains from coast to coast, as well as being including and accepting of all ethnicities and cultures, and being very polite and respectful, even if someone has a different political opinion than you, and even if you don't like hockey, cheering on Team Canada in the World Juniors.
On behalf of the troop and the regiment, I'd like to send our best wishes through these trying times. Best of luck going forward, and we hope to see you again in 2021.
For me, playing in the Canadian League is simply a dream come true, I think. Even, a few years prior, when I was kind of working my way up through the academy system, there really wasn't even a thought in my head that I would ever have the chance to play in the Canadian League. And in the span of a couple of years, obviously that changed, and I'm just so fortunate and so lucky really to have this opportunity. And it's just a privilege. It's a privilege to be a part of it, and to see the growth and to play a part in that growth for the future.
In a Canadian League, it's really the pathway that a lot of new Canadians are able to take instead of going overseas to stay at home and play for their cities.
Very good, because giving me an opportunity, something different, and for me it's very special because it's a different culture. It's something that's embraced me, and I've embraced it.
It's absolutely huge for me. It's something that I didn't have growing up, and one of the big reasons I came back from Europe was to be an ambassador and a role model in a league that was built for Canadians. And I think that's why the motto, by Canadians for Canadians, is huge, because it's giving the opportunity to all the talented young soccer players that, the opportunity I didn't have growing up. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm here, to support it and to help show the potential that Canada has for soccer.
What does it mean playing in the Canadian League? To me, it just means the ability to play at home in front of my friends and family. I think that's important, not to necessarily have to go overseas to chase the dream, but to be in a place where you're surrounded by people you love and you can play the game that you love just in a comfortable space.
What does it mean coaching in the Canadian Premier League? It's an honour, because we're essentially the trailblazers of a future generation. I think now, to be able to be one of the first coaches, to bring through a bunch of Canadian players and Canadian coaching staff, help create a Canadian support structure bigger than what it was, and leave a legacy. So I've always had a mandate of trying to give back to a country that's adopted me, and this is my way of doing so.
What does it mean playing for Canada? I think first and foremost it's an honor to represent your country, but I think not only you're representing your country, you're representing your friends and your family, everybody close to you who you grew up with. So I think when you put on that maple leaf, that jersey, you represent not only yourself but everybody else in this country. And anytime I've done it, I've tried to do it with the most dignity that we could, and just try to get the best results that we could.
Playing for Team Canada, it's hard to describe what it meant, but it was just such a huge honor to have the maple leaf over your chest.
It wraps all those things up into one, right? It's a really an indescribable feeling that it's a privilege that very, very few ever get the chance to say that they've done. And for me, every time I've worn the Canadian maple leaf, the badge on my chest, it's a huge honor and a responsibility. And for me to be able to do that, to represent my country, a country that I'm so proud of, again, it's really indescribable. And every time you get the chance to do it, you just want to do it as best as you can and continue to do it as many times as possible.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Hello everyone, happy Canada Day. My name is Matt Blaze, and it's really nice to be with you. I've got a song to perform for you. It's called Good Thing. Nothing's ever what it seems. Some perspective is all we need. If we look at this differently, I think maybe this could be a good thing. just between me and you. Think about what could be. We got time, the time erases, so let go of expectations. Beauty can be born, catastrophe. It's got to fall apart for it to fall into place. Nothing's ever what it seems. Some perspective is all we need. If we look at this differently, I think maybe this could be a good thing. Whatever the future brings, the good, the bad, or in between. Can't you see the silver lining? Maybe this could be a good thing. Silence kills when we embrace it. Blank walls, shadowy faces, bend or break, we'll keep shining through. So close I can almost taste it. Patience hurts, but I can face it. As long as I have you. Together we're better, now never the same. Nothing's ever what it seems. Some perspective is all we need. If we look at this differently, I think maybe this could be a good thing. Whatever the future brings, the good, the bad, or in between. Can't you see the silver lining? Maybe this could be a good thing. First sign of light in a faded sky, whispers at the night when everything's a shade of truth. You live the life you choose. Change is all around us, but hope comes from within. The only certainty for me is you. Nothing's ever what it seems. Some perspective is all we need. If we look at this differently, I think maybe this could be a good thing. Whatever the future brings, the good, the bad, or in between. Can't you see the silver lining? Maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe this could be a good thing.
Thank you, Matt. Music is such a part of Canada Day celebrations from coast to coast to coast, and has been a part of the Spruce Meadows story for fully 45 years. Every morning the music goes on at 7 a.m. throughout the grounds and plays throughout the day. And we have been treated also to memorable live performances by great Canadians like Ian Tyson, Farmer's Daughter, Corb Lund, and then a litany of foreign military bands that have come here throughout the years as part of the celebration of music and the horse. You know, at the end of every competition here at Spruce Meadows, we salute the champion with the Spruce Meadows Victory Ride. The Radetzky's, a tune I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Next up on our Canada Day at Home, we're going to open the vault and look back at one of those memorable victories, that of Tiffany Foster, a great Canadian Olympic rider, one of the most charismatic athletes on the tour, who in 2016 took on some of the world's best, including her mentor, Eric Lamaze, in the Imperial Winning Round.
Hi everyone, this is Tiffany Foster. I'd like to wish you all a very happy Canada Day. We're all disappointed we're not at Spruce Meadows enjoying the summer series, but we know that 2020 is throwing us a bunch of curveballs, but I hope everyone is able to enjoy July 1st and Canada Day together with their loved ones. I was asked to talk about my most favorite Canadian moment, and to be honest, it's too hard to pick just one. I think for me, anytime that you step into the ring and hear the Canadian crowd cheer for you, whether it's in Calgary or Thunderbird or at the Royal or anywhere else, you have a huge, huge feeling of pride to ride for your nation, and I owe that all to the great fans that we have all over the world.
Welcome to the 1976 Spruce Meadows Masters, and this afternoon we'll be featuring highlights of the... Ian Miller and Big Ben, our 1991 Are you ready? I hope so, Ian. This is going to be really exciting.
Each summer, the world's best horses and riders come together in the foothills of the Alberta Rockies to take on the international ring and all of its legend. The Spruce Meadows North American, presented by Rolex, marks the final chapter in the annual Spruce Meadows Summer Series. Today, some of the sport's biggest stars are set to go in the Imperial Winning Round from Spruce Meadows. A look down on the international ring at Spruce Meadows as 30 of the best riders in the world inspect the course, as set today by Spanish course designer Santiago Varela. These riders have qualified throughout the Spruce Meadows North American Championship tournament to earn a starting position in today's winning round. They will be coming into the stadium in their reverse order of qualification, meaning the best have earned the right to start late in this starting order. These horse rider combinations must negotiate the 480-meter track as set out by Santiago Varela, maintaining a speed of 400 meters per minute to come in under the time allowed of 72 seconds. The top 10 performances and/or all clears will then be brought back over the 380-meter winning round course here at the Spruce Meadows International Ring. And what an international field we have, having qualified for today's competition. Athletes from Germany, Egypt, Mexico, the United States, Ireland, and of course Canada have all tried to make it today into this final event of the Spruce Meadows North American. Many storylines at play here today. Not only will horses and riders be taking on the legend of the international ring, but there's competitions within the competition. For instance, we've had Canada's Eric Lamaze and Tiffany Foster going head-to-head throughout the Spruce Meadows Summer Series. More often than not, 2008 Olympic champion Eric Lamaze edging out his Olympic teammate Tiffany Foster for top recognition in the competition. She'll look to change that today aboard her rising star, Brighton, who earlier in this North American Championships tasted victory in the Sun Life Financial Reach for the Sun. And then there's the Delorier family. American legend Mario Delorier, who of course stormed onto the international scene as a teenager, then riding for Canada, now a member of the United States equestrian team, and his 18-year-old daughter, Lucy Delorier, one of the top qualifiers for today's winning round. And let's not count out the Richards, Richard Spooner, and Rich Fellers of the United States. They're all ahead with the Imperial Winning Round.
And then all that's broken, remnants of all that's golden. I'm holding on to that feeling. I'm holding on to that feeling. I'm holding on to that feeling.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
The Imperial Winning Round from Spruce Meadows continues, and thus far from our starting field of 30 qualified, 5 clear rounds. The course is showing its teeth at every twist and turn, but of those clear rounds, there's been some youngsters, including the young Mexican Andres Escaraga and Canada's Jacqueline Duff. Then there's Patricio Pascual, also guiding his horse into the winning round, along with the great veteran from the United States, Leslie Howard, and former World Cup champion Rich Fellers with the ageless stallion Flexible. A clear round guarantees you a ticket to the winning round, and there's the list of those that have earned the ticket thus far. What a combination of youth and veteran talent on the bubble, the one-time fault. So time is very much an issue here in the first round of competition. 72 seconds the time allowed, and here are those that will be coming through the clock tower as our coverage continues from the Spruce Meadows International Ring. And those are the top 3 qualifiers for today. Delorier, and Spooner still to come for the red, white, and blue. Tiffany Foster, 2016 Canadian Olympian, into the stadium now aboard Brighton. There is a look at what lies ahead for the youngster from Langley, BC. And here she is talking about winning round strategy.
It's always a great advantage to go near the end. You can kind of see a little bit what the lay of the land is and how fast you actually have to go. So that's definitely part of the strategy in this. You have to go fast so that you can seat yourself quite well to go into the second round.
Well, the always approachable Tiffany Foster talking about what her plan is today. First and foremost, qualify to start. Tick. That has been done with this star, Brighton, the rising star in her stable from the Artisan Farm. Now she wants to go clear and carry pace to give herself a chance to come in at or near the end of the winning round order of go. Tiffany Foster underway now under brilliant Alberta sunshine aboard the 10-year-old gelding Brighton. Approaching the Normandy Leopard from the Championship Jump Collection from the 2014 World Equestrian Games. Now permanently residing here at Spruce Meadows. Super international flavor out on the international ring right now, over the cathedrals towards the French Masters obstacle. And now into the triple combination circa the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal. My, how course decor has changed through the decades. And over the final signature fence, and Tiffany Foster has done what she set out to do. She's gone clean and she has gone fast aboard Brighton. 4 full seconds under the time allowed, and that will position the young Canadian very well for the winning round. Super efficient round around this course, and there she is powering over the Imperial drilling rigs at the end of the course, the final obstacle on this 480-meter track. So on to the winning round she goes as we fire up the motors for Ireland's first to go here at our coverage today from the International Ring at Spruce Meadows. This is Richie Maloney on Pajayando. Another youngster getting comfortable in the International Ring at Spruce Meadows is this 9-year-old Swedish warm blood gelding under the great ride of Richie Maloney. I failed to mention him as one of the Richies still to come here in our order of go. Spooner, Fellers, and Richie Maloney. And of course the Irish have enjoyed great success this season at Spruce Meadows. Very much at home in the expanse of the International Ring. Very much at home with the speed, the natural obstacles, and of course jumping on turf. They're now settled in well into the round over the Maple Leafs from the 2015 Pan American Games. Now the Normandy Leopard and the turn back to the British Guardhouses. A little slip there by what we refer to as the playpen area in the center of the stadium here.
seem to be back on balance as they approach the cathedrals. Triple combination right by the clock tower here at Spruce Meadows. Oxer, vertical oxer, and then to the Imperial derricks, and across the finish line just within the time allowed. So a clear round, winning round is assured, but he will go a little bit earlier in the order of go when we approach the winning round here at Spruce Meadows. Here's a look at the trip through the triple. A little bit of a bang coming in, but all sorted out by the time the big bay horse was able to power up over the final obstacle on this course. Jonathan McRae delivers the Cavalier salute to Rich Kruger, the chairman, president, and chief executive officer of Imperial Oil, a 41-year corporate partner of Spruce Meadows, enjoying another memorable event here on the international ring. And Jonathan McRae, for so long a member of the Irish equestrian team, now an American citizen, married to Christine McRae, former Pan American gold medalist in her own right. And he is underway now on this big gray stallion, Bruegel. This is Jonathan McRae. What a difference in this horse from its arrival in the early stages of the 2016 Summer Series to how it is now settled in to the environment of the Spruce Meadows International Ring and carries with it a different degree of confidence and pace. And the 10-year-old stallion gets better every time out, and McRae will certainly be expecting a strong performance today. Not the fastest of horses. Let's watch. Beautiful jumping stallion. Really listens to the hand and the leg of its rider. Focused on the job at hand. Hunting through, a bit of a wrap there on the vertical, but hunts through the combination without fault and across the finish line, toying with the time somewhat at 71.69. So again, that will not bode well for the order of go earned in the winning round. Nonetheless, they have advanced. Super job over that C element of the triple combination as Bruegel and Jonathan McRae will catch their breath and get ready to come back in what is sizing up to be a tremendously exciting winning round as we get into the top qualifiers late in the order of the first round. Eric Lamaze delivering the Cavalier's salute. What a story this man is at Spruce Meadows. Over $4 million, approaching $5 million in career earnings on this ring alone. Rosanna Duparc is Lamaze's mount today, part of the great stable of horses that the 2008 Olympic champion has brought along. And of course, many thought he would never continue near the top of the sport with the passing of his mighty Hickstead a few seasons back. But he has done a terrific job in bringing along a great string of horses, one of which is on course now, the 11-year-old mare. This is Rosanna Duparc. Winner on 3 occasions this summer at Spruce Meadows, which has, of course, helped Eric Lamaze maintain his all-time career lead at this venue. It wasn't just Hickstead that did it all. It goes all the way back to the great Cagney. Horses, of course, like Rosanna Duparc, carrying the load. Fine Lady, his 2016 Olympic mount, but today it's Rosanna, and she is underway and looking sharp. Nicely into the triple. Nicely out over the Oxer with 1 to go. And Eric Lamaze continues his impressive ways. He didn't even look like he was carrying that much speed, but look at that time. Coming in well under the time allowed of 72 seconds, and that with 68.73 will put him in good stead for a strong start position in the winning round. And there you can see the lovely mare just hopping through the in and out, staying on the bridle, staying in concert with the rider, and then calmly going about her business, getting ready for the next round, as is Connor Swale with his rising star, Sita.
Sita, we actually acquired her through an Aerial Grange from Lochlurie. We acquired her in September last year. She is now a 10-year-old. She's by Casal, extremely careful jumper. This is her first time here, and yeah, she went into the ring first go and like absolutely smoked the field. I have to say, she was amazing. If the horse is jumping so confidently and doing everything so well, you're going into the ring and you start to think that you're not going to make so many mistakes, and it really does help generate like a good feeling and make a lot of positive reactions to that great win.
Well, he'll be looking for another great win today, but first, the business at hand, a clear round, and he'd like to do so rather promptly. We've seen a few come in under 70 seconds. Connor Swale would love to have a late start in the winning round with Sita. So far, she looks to be in good form today. This 10-year-old mare has done nothing but impress since she first came through the clock tower in the opening week of the Spruce Meadows Summer Series. That's a lovely turn. He's not going to push her too hard. Knows that she's got a good ground speed, naturally a pretty quick horse, but he doesn't want to be too late in the winning round order of go, so he'll keep her off the rails. Get home comfortably here over the Imperial signature fence, stopping the clock just shy of 71 seconds. So Connor Swale has advanced to the winning round, and the horses have come to jump today. Well, here's a look at Connor at the Normandy Leopard, making sure that the horse gets a good look at that fence. It's a big airy vertical on flat cups. You need to give it a lot of respect, and respect it they did. And they fall in the middle of the pack now, advancing to the winning round. That's the 5th fastest performance. And with that now, all clears have advanced to the winning round, which puts the pressure on our final entries still to come, the final 3, one of which is this young lady. Lucy Delorier comes into the ring very quietly. She's learned from one of the best in the sport, her father, Mario.
Yeah, it's really great. I can definitely use all of his experience and expertise to my advantage. In the past few classes, we've gone quite close to each other, so we've gotten to, watch a bunch together and then warm up together, and right before we go in the ring, he just gives me a few words of advice. So it's definitely awesome from all points of view.
Well, Mario Delorier was just a year older than Lucy when he became the youngest ever to win the FAI World Cup final aboard the great Hanoverian Aramis. Lucy Delorier herself has a great resume coming up through the children and junior ranks in the United States, and has been winning at the FEI level in this her first full season, and now finds herself in a very enviable position with this lovely horse Hester, having been one of the top qualifiers for the Imperial Winning Round. Lucy's mother, Lisa, was of course a mainstay on the U.S. equestrian team under the tutelage of George Morris for many years. Great Lisa Tarnopol. So it's in Lucy's pedigree here as she makes her way through the triple combination with one left to go. A couple of touches there for Hester, but he really knows how to touch the rails. And look at that time. She didn't look to be going fast at all. 67.18. My goodness me. What an efficient trip around that course to serve notice to her dad. She has come to play. Here she is through the Swedish butterflies. Bit of a touch there with the back legs. Nothing too significant though. And Lucy Delorier is now the #1 qualifier to advance to the winning round, with a couple of heavyweights still to come. First of those heavyweights is her father, Mario Delorier. He's riding Cherry Pop. Mario Delorier, great veteran, originally from Bromont, Quebec, now riding and living in New York. He's aboard the 9-year-old mare Cherry Pop. His daughter's just gone to the top of the board. He'll look to change that. Don't kid yourself, there is still very much a game-on competitive spirit in the Delorier family. Driving hard. Cherry Pops look to be in great shape right now. Great sounds and sights coming out of the international ring as he comes down the final line. Looking to join the ranks of the winning round, but will not be doing so as he cuts down the A element of the triple combination. So now all Delorier hopes rest with Lucy as Mario has a tough break in the final 100 meters of this course. Coming around the corner, she kind of stares out the clock tower. And that little lapse of concentration, and then Mario trying to get her back onto the program, cost them 4 faults.
Right turn.
One left to go, the top qualifier. Richard Spooner of the United States, who's rounding into great form with his new horse, Cornasser.
She started out the series a little bit tentative, but lucky for me, she's building and kind of getting her heart and her confidence, and she's getting brave towards the end of the circuit, and that's where the money is. So hopefully, if everything keeps going on this trajectory, hopefully we'll get a piece of a couple of the classes, or at least one of the classes on the weekend.
Well, it has been an impressive trajectory, to say the least, as they are the top qualifiers to get to today's Imperial Winning Round. And this 10-year-old mare really is a completely different horse in the international ring than she was at the start of the Spruce Meadows Summer Series. She's not shy and skittish. She's moving forward. On occasion, we saw her on her hind legs trying to become bipedal. She was a little intimidated in the environment, but now with a huge crowd, in a huge field with a good rider, she looks to be very much an international prospect. Richard always likes a horse with a little bit of blood, spirit. Look at her come through the combination. Nicely done. 1 to go. My goodness, look at this time. Richard Spooner, the master of faster, as some call him. 65.88. So not only the top qualifier throughout the entire tournament, the top qualifier in the opening round here. And here's a look at him powering over the Maple Leaf Auxerre and then driving hard towards the Normandy Leopard. Just part of what was the fastest trip around the ring. Little reward for the beautiful gray mare as she gets ready for the winning round here at Spruce Meadows. Here's a look at the other horse rider combinations that have advanced to the Imperial Winning Round, with Tiffany Foster coming in 3rd from last aboard Brighton. A great first round of competition. 30 horse rider combinations from around the world advanced, including this man. With this horse, they have been to the very summit of the world of show jumping, including the Olympic Games and former World Cup champions. Rich Fellers and Flexible will lead the way over this 380-meter course, designed by Spain's Santiago Varela. Flexible, the 20-year-old stallion, just continues to impress. Here's Rich Fellers with more.
He just tried like he always does. He didn't feel as energetic as he normally does, but he tried to leave the jumps up, and that's the name of the game. I'll just see how he feels. I'll take it one jump at a time, and probably I might not even jump him in the warm-up ring. We'll see how he recovers here, and give him his best shot. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how Rich recovers too. A little out of breath after that first round of competition, but what an extraordinary combination these two have been over the decades. The Irish-bred stallion who we've seen in Grand Prix, Derby, Speed, and now Winning Round competition. They are the pathfinders in the Winning Round, and they should set a pretty good pace. Charging hard at that oxer. Efficient turn back to the British guardhouses, and now assuming his signature pose, the fighter pilot position as I call it. Rich Fellers is really picking up the pace with the great veteran, driving hard at the full hand gallop to the final fence, and Rich Fellers with a heartbreaker of sorts takes the last rail down. 50-24 is the time he posts, and that is unfortunate because that was a great effort by two great veterans. Coming hard down the final line, asks him to take off. He just had that little dangle with the front leg, it seems. Fellers without his front left stirrup. And all of that added up to 4 faults, 50.24 seconds. Jonathan McRae firing up the Grey Stallion Bruegel. This 10-year-old has continued to improve each and every time out. Half the age of the stallion we saw lead things off here. Oh, little stumble there for the big Grey. Off fence number 1, didn't lose any time, I don't believe. A lot heavier going stallion than Flexible, who has such a quick step and a super efficiency. McRae taking the outside line around the flagpole on the east side. Some may try that inside if they get set up properly for it. As you can see, he's a full 4 seconds behind the pace that was set by Rich Fellers. But if he keeps all the rails up, he will go to the top of the standings. Something he's not able to do. So he's now on 4 faults here in the Winning Round. Driving hard, trying to get in sync here as he's asking him to stretch out as he does and finish up in 56.32. So for Jonathan McRae, that will move him into 2nd position in the very early going of the Winning Round here at Spruce Meadows. Playing with the bit a bit there as he turned back around the playpen towards the British guardhouses, perhaps a little distracting. Richie Maloney next to go for Ireland. Paja Yando is the 9-year-old warm blood. We have yet to see a clear round in the Winning Round. Will it be posted by the Irish veteran who now calls Wellington, Florida home? Taking plenty of time in his 45-second countdown to approach this first fence. There he picks up the pace. Taking the wide berth towards the yellow vertical. Pops through the pair of verticals and now onto the Maple Leaf Oxer. This big bay gelding seems to be going rather quickly, but I'm not sure it's going that efficiently. sitting on a clear round right now, as he will set up now for the long run down this final line. But as you can see, quite a bit slower than the time set by Fellers, which is a bit academic because he does post a clear round. So goes to the top of the standings at 54.58. But I have a strong suspicion that can be bettered. Balancing, and then over the final vertical. That's the first of the clears here in the Imperial Winning Round. I have spoken on numerous occasions of the new names, the new stars in the sport, both the four-legged and the two-legged, and this is a great example of both. Andres Escarraga of Mexico, the son of the great veteran Jaime Escarraga, underway now aboard Contendros. This is a 9-year-old Hanoverian stallion with one of the youngsters of Mexican show jumping in the irons. There's the inside line. That will save precious real estate if you don't stall your motor out, which they did not. Well up on the pace right now if he can keep all of the rails up and execute the turns. Get balanced. One of the interesting things for many of these young riders that have not competed on turf before, it does have a speed limit. It requires balance and keeping your horse packaged properly underneath you. Charging now to the final fence and over and quickly, and there is a new leader at Spruce Meadows. Andres Escarraga of Mexico aboard the little Hanoverian stallion Contendros. Clean and fast. Terrific trip. Here he is down the final line, making sure he's got the balance on the stallion. Almost took a little smack in the head there when he crossed the finish line when he was shoulder checking to make sure he'd left it up. He can wait now to see how that score holds up. Jacqueline Duff next to go, young Canadian rider who is looking to live her Spruce Meadows dream with her first ever international win here. A all or none is the 10-year-old Hanoverian. Jacqueline Duff in the irons. Ooh, she bought a bit of a break there. The gelding continues to eat up the ground, perhaps not looking like he's going as fast as the Escarraga horse, but this is a bigger horse. Bigger stride. And Jacqueline will open him up now as they make their way towards the final line. 51-39, you can hear the crowd encouraging her to the final line. It's going to be close. Oh! No. Into second place goes the young Canadian. There's Coach Bob Henselwood looking on as Jacqueline Duff comes close to leading the way at Spruce Meadows. There's where she lost it, right there. A little bit of the pull on the reins, and that was those 2/10 she needed, but better safe than sorry. She left the rails up and moves into second position. The horsepower keeps coming in the international ring at Spruce Meadows. There is a look at the current standings. We've had 3 double clears to date. Connor Swale's going to make it 4, he hopes. And if he does so, he will be tough to beat. Sita is the name of the 10-year-old mare. And as Connor was saying to us early in the telecast, she arrived at Spruce Meadows and she just absorbed and thrived in this atmosphere. and in fact blew away some of the competition in early events at the Spruce Meadows Summer Series. That's what he's hoping for today. Connor Swale aboard Sita. He gets the inside corner, lost a little forward momentum there, but gets her through the pair of verticals. This is where he'll shine. Going to pop up over the Normandy Leopard and try and hit this corner, not slip, and over he goes. Hand gallop home now. There's a great look at a forward ride, very aggressive, slight check, final fence time looks good, rails up, new leader, 50.19 for Connor Swale aboard Sita as he goes to the brakes immediately after the finish line. There is a look at team focus. Horse and rider sighting in the final fence, and now sighting in a possible victory here at Spruce Meadows. 50.19, the time to beat. To Mexico we go for our next entry. Patricio Pascual aboard Jerez. All of our winning round entries here by virtue of great first round performances and great performances throughout the Spruce Meadows North American, as the top 30 from a huge number of FEI nominated horses have advanced to this winning round, and now we'll see if it will be Mexico, Ireland, Canada, or the United States that jumps to victory today. This Bay Oldenburg gelding is 12 years of age, has a huge stride, and if Patricio can get the corners navigated and allow this gelding to eat the turf up, cut that at a bit of an angle. He was setting up to exit it on that angle, but the horse just kind of leaned into that A element of that double of verticals to incur 4 faults. So that rail at 5A combined with the time will put them lower down in our winning round standings. 12 made it to the winning round. We've had a couple of fast double clears. Here's the angle he came into 5A at, and the big gelding just didn't have a chance, although he responded brilliantly jumping out over the B element. Another horse that responded well in the first round of competition was Quadam, ridden by the great American veteran Leslie Howard.
Yeah, he felt super. He's a new horse to me. I've had him for about 2 months now. I have really high, good expectations for him. I think he has all the qualities it takes. He's brave, he's beautiful to ride, he's careful, he has a great competitive spirit, fast. He's so agreeable to what you're asking him to do. You know, there's never an argument one way or the other whether you're asking him to come forward or to slow down. And I couldn't have been happier.
Leslie Howard, who's enjoyed such success here in the international ring through the decades, hopes to have found another star for her stable. She's done a terrific job rebuilding that stable over the last couple of years, and this young stallion just couldn't get it done at the B element of 5AB. Just 10 years of age, and as Leslie was mentioning, has a real rapport with her and a real willingness to learn, and those are both great ingredients and positive signs for a bright future ahead for the great veteran of Westport, Connecticut, down the final line, knowing she's out of it, but nonetheless she's never one to take her foot off the throttle. Very aggressive rider, and she finishes up with 4 faults 51-26. And here's a look at the turn into the 5A, and just not able to figure out both obstacles in that combination. And with it, 4 jumping faults for the beautiful Bay Stallion. Which brings us to the beautiful Bay mare, Rosanna Duparc, who Eric Lamaze rode to a fast clear in the first round. That was his strategy.
Wow, she's so experienced. You know, I decided to do all the leave-out stride because it determines the order of go, your time in the first round. So not only are you trying to be under the time allowed, but I was trying to be a quick clear, to have the pole position to have the last spot to go in the jump off. I didn't quite get there. The people that go early are at a bit of a disadvantage because at the end we look at the board and we know what we have to do. So as you get towards the end of the class, we're fortunate enough to go at the bottom of it. So the plan is clear.
Clear and fast, and that's what Eric is doing thus far with Rosanna Duparc. Winners on multiple occasions here on the Spruce Meadows Summer Series, and he would like to finish off with a victory in the Imperial Winning Round. 50.19 on a clear trip is what it will take, but he is the 4th from last. He did not get that anchor position, so they will know as he sizes up the final line. They've done their job. 49.03. Eric Lamaze. Will he score another victory at Spruce Meadows and continue on his all-time leading trajectory? Here he is. Now she got a little crow hop there coming around the playpen. Didn't seem to interfere with the stride pattern at all. Well, those that follow know what needs to be done now. Clean and very fast. The inside corner, maybe leave out a stride or two. He did not leave a lot on the table, but he might have left enough. Tiffany Foster underway now. Can she continue her winning ways at Spruce Meadows? Brighton has been such a delight for her since coming into the stable of the Artisan Farm, and he continues to shine. That's a big ask. Oh, and does he ever answer? Cutting the angle, cutting out the stride, not interfering with each other. Nice corner. She would love to knock her mentor and former trainer Eric Lamaze down a notch in the standings here. Over the final fence. My goodness me, 47.82. Tiffany Foster and Brighton may have done it again. A terrific trip around the international ring for Tiffany and her 10-year-old Bay gelding. There she is, cutting it ever so close at the playpen, back over the British guardhouses, and then she just went full speed ahead over the final 2 obstacles.
Okay, we have Lucy on course.
So Tiffany Foster, will there be another moment in time for this delightful young rider from the west coast of Canada? This young rider from the east coast of the United States hopes not. This is Lucy Delorier, just 18 years of age. And she is an aggressive young rider with a talented horse in Hester. Now one of the keys is not to spend too much time in the air. Hang time can be costly. She has nearly half a second to make up as she makes her way. Ooh, a little bit of a slip there. It's starting to tear up on that turn back. Now the cheers from the stands, encouraging her down the final line. A sub-50 trip, but a trip that will not be fast enough to overtake Tiffany Foster, who stays at the top of the standings. And young Lucy Delorier moves into second. Ladies' Day at Spruce Meadows. A little bit of an ad there. Added steps mean added time as Lucy heads out of the stadium through the clock tower. The waiting game for Tiffany Foster continues, and this man is the only one that can rain on her parade today. He qualified best for the Imperial Winning Round. He qualified fastest into the winning round, and now the focus is on Richard Spooner and Cornasser. The 10-year-old Westphalian mare with the great veteran from Southern California in for the ride, Richard Spooner. 47.82 the time to beat. You need to go clear. Nice bending line through that combination, but did he hit the in point fast enough? And a good reach over that oxer by the mare. He's got to find half a second here. Turning back, a little bit of a slip there by the British guardhouses, and now you can bet that Richard Spooner has tossed away the brake pedal. Asking, she answers, is it fast enough? No, it is not. Tiffany Foster probably calling her mom on the West Coast to let her know that she's done it again. And there is Richard Spooner. He has to be delighted with how this mare has come on. Look at this ride down the final line. Asking for takeoff and answering with a clear response, but not quite fast enough at 48.27. Tiffany Foster of Canada lays claim to the Imperial Winning Round at the Spruce Meadows North American. There's a look at the final standings. What a winning round it was. Spooner, Delorier, Lamaze, all sub 50. No one faster than Tiffany Foster. And here's a look at how those 12 sorted out in the Imperial Oil Winning Round. Back with our champion right after this.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the winner's circle at Spruce Meadows. How about a hand for Canada's Tiffany Foster, champion of the Imperial Winning Round. We'll try to bring a smile to your face here, Tiffany. Tell us about this horse, what a fan you are of it and of this event.
I mean, this horse is just unbelievable. He also won the class the other night, and it's like he just knows, and he goes so fast, and his legs move so quick, and he's so smart, and he's just perfect.
Well, He was perfect today. Tell us about the corner you took around the playpen, and then I think you shut your eyes over the one vertical.
I think I shut my eyes over every vertical. Well, the turn around the playpen, I went as kind of tight as I could, and as I was going, I could hear Mrs. Southern going, go, go, go. So I figured, like, okay, I'm on it, I'll keep going. And I'm just so thrilled with him, and I'm so happy for Brighton, and he's so good. And I wanted to also say thanks so much, because I was looking at the thing here, and it says Kara Chad, and so it's last year was a student of Eric's, this year's a student of Eric's, and for teaching and also inspiration to go faster than him.
Well said, Tiffany. We'll slow that down, and we'll listen to it back on replay, but that was a great, great event. You know, one of the great stories of the Imperial Winning Round is the 40-year partnership with Imperial Oil. Pleased to have Rich Kruger with me in the winner's circle here, Chairman, President, and CEO. We've added another memorable chapter.
It's fantastic. We've always been pleased to be a sponsor of this event, and to have a champion like Tiffany today with just the excitement and the competitiveness was a real thrill for us. So thank you very much.
Well, her thrills are about to improve. Rich, Tiffany, step forward, hoist this great piece of hardware from the champions podium. Ladies and gentlemen, Canada's Tiffany Foster, winner of the Imperial Winning Round.
Happy Canada Day, everyone. It's very unfortunate that we're not able to be together through the hustle and bustle of the Spruce Meadows Summer Series this year. But thank you so much to the entire team at Spruce Meadows for recreating that atmosphere through this virtual tournament. I myself have thoroughly enjoyed watching and reminiscing all the great memories that have happened underneath the clock tower in the International Ring at Spruce Meadows. I was asked to share my most memorable Canadian moment at Spruce Meadows, and although I have so many great memories there, there is one that sits proudly at the top of the list. Being selected to ride at the 2014 Spruce Meadows Masters Canadian Equestrian Team was a dream come true in its own, but jumping double clear on my trusted steed McAvoy to help clinch the win for Canada in front of our home crowd was the icing on the cake. It is a memory I will forever hold on to, and I wish nothing more than to recreate that Canadian magic next year. Happy Canada Day. See you soon.
I think if we look back 30 years, no one in our family had any expectation for what we have today, for sure. I think in the beginning, Ron and I really wanted to try to set up something for the young riders in Western Canada who may not have an opportunity to be able to train or compete or be really involved with horses at a little bit of a higher level than had been. And so we wanted to build a facility that was going to be open to the public, but it was going to be open to young people. And I think our dream really at that time, it certainly didn't envision a huge facility. It envisioned the ability to really show jump for young people and for amateurs that wanted to stay involved with horses.
Yeah, but I remember, Marg, that you know, we got Pamela Carruthers to come and do the courses. We'd seen her before, and we wanted more people who could perform in the sport at a higher level to come. And I think I mean, I agree with you completely as to the initial thoughts, but I also think right at the very beginning when we were walking these courses, laying them out, they haven't changed in 30 years. I'm so grateful to Pamela Carruthers for helping us provide something of size that could be world class. Because I can remember walking on the snow with her and saying, Pamela, someday I would like this to be like Hickstead, which at that point in time was #1 in the world.
I think one thing that I would like to bring up right away is that when we decided to do it, we did take the time to set up objectives. And those objectives really never changed over the years. We've certainly enhanced them. They have really grown in the sense of size and the way we've done things. But when we first were to build Spruce Meadows, we talked about why are we doing it. And one of the reasons is that at the time in our province, there were not, the only horses that you really would see in our sport was the thoroughbred. And we had spent a lot of time with people that had liked the heavy horse from Europe. And I think we give a lot of credit to Joe Salinger because he introduced us to the Hanoverian horse. And so one of our objectives was to breed a horse at Spruce Meadows that would help to build the development of the sport. Another objective we had was that we would train horses and train young riders with that as well. But the third objective was to have show jumping tournaments. So when I say that those were the 3 main objectives, I would say that they still are, except that we have really, really had those 3 objectives developed in detail.
I'd agree with that. Because we always talk about that and have for 30, actually we started talking about this about 35 years ago or 34 years ago. We don't, you know, put down big statements of the objectives. I guess we've got it recorded, but within our family and within all the people of Spruce Meadows, it's one well understood. I would say that our breeding has never been better. Our training of young people, from what I see with the people that we've got right now, is the best it's ever been. When you look at and survey the whole of the 30 years, each one of them, including the tournaments, have been better every year.
When we first started, Ron and I would not want anyone to think that there were not an awful lot of good riders around this province. It was very interesting because there were some very, very good riders. And these riders, every time they wanted to compete, had to travel to Eastern Canada. And this was not an East-West confrontation. It was a matter that there really wasn't a place in Western Canada where they would have outdoor jumping facilities that would give them an opportunity to become good enough that they would be able to make Canada's national team. But there were some very, very good riders. And so I think that we just wanted to help to enhance that.
Yeah, but again, you can't run a house league. You know, a lot of people in the world try to do that. They try to say, well, we have a sport that we like and we want to improve it. Young people, all athletes, I think, are very susceptible to seeing better things, better athletes. You see it on the ski slopes, don't you? You see young people quickly emulate somebody that skis well. And yeah, I can remember in the very first year saying to the Canadian equestrian team at that time, look, you're welcome to use Spruce Meadows as a training venue. And we knew all, I know Marg did, and always supported that we would try to, by our invitations, get the best people that we could to come here. We didn't pay them to come, but we always wanted them to come. I can remember in the very first, we were in Florida, I think, and Marg was going around with a little pamphlet that we had to people, well, how far is that away? 3,500 miles or 3,000, I don't know. And these people had never heard of Calgary, they'd never heard of Spruce Meadows, and they certainly hadn't heard of Marg Southern. And she was going up to each of them and saying, look, why don't you come? We've got a great spot that we're doing this, etc. And we promise you lots of fun and lots of friendship. And yeah, some of those people came.
It was an interesting time because there was the winter circuit going on in Florida, but then we left Florida and Ron had business up the West Coast, California. So when he was doing business in California, I went out to the various riding facilities in around Menlo Park and around San Francisco. And interesting enough, one of the couples that listened to us and to what our dream was Lou and Butch Thomas. And Lou and Butch Thomas have been coming all these years, and they have a son now that's a very good rider. He came and rode as with his pony in the beginning, and then grew to riding in the big international ring. But Lou and Butch Thomas gave us, I think, some words of wisdom, and it was based on word of mouth. That show jumpers are interesting in the sense of the way they want to go to tournaments. If they go to one and they find that they really like it, they will tell other people. The other people will tell other people. And if you can do a good job in the beginning with the people when they come to the tournaments, that it will help you so much more than all the dollars that you can spend on advertising. And I think that was very, very good information, because it has been a word of mouth. And I think it's continued to do that, in the sense that we'll run into people saying, I've heard of Spruce Meadows, I'm going to come next year.
It's interesting, you know, because when we're talking, it takes you back and what you remember. For sure, we wanted it to help people here. But right from the very beginning, we understood that word of mouth would be what would draw fans here, corporates that you were speaking of, athletes, even the media. I mean, in the beginning, there was no credibility for the sport or this venue. What has made Spruce Meadows work is it's not just our dream. And dream is a kind of a soft term. It's not just our goal or our objectives or our dream. It's become the dream of all the athletes, all the corporates, all the fans that are here, that this is a venue that has basic family values. It's green, it's clean, it's good friendship, it's good sport, right for 30 years. And it's those people that have said to other corporates, why don't you come here? To other fans, why don't you come here? To other riders, why don't you come here? I think that's quite right, Marg. And it was in the first year that we tried that, huh?
And I think one of the groups of people that we often miss, and for sure when Ron said, look, if we want Spruce Meadows to grow and to be meaningful and to have something of substance, you have to get the top riders of the world. And when we did finally start to get the top riders of the world, we also paid attention to the grooms. It's so easy to forget, but those grooms work so hard to make it right for their athlete. And there's two athletes in this sport, the horse and the rider. Yeah. And these young people that look after these horses are very, very important. And so from the very, very beginning, we said, when those international grooms come here, we want to make sure they have transportation. If they have a day off, that they could get up to the mountains to see Alberta, that they could get downtown to shop, that they would have some monies to be able to eat properly. And so I think that was a very important part, because if a groom goes back and he says to his rider, even though the rider did well at the tournament, if he went back and said, gosh, I sure don't ever want to go back there. But if they go back and they say, wow, gosh, I hope we can go to Spruce Meadows again next year, I think it's been a real plus. And it's an easy one to forget. It's an easy one. It's behind the scenes. But it's very, very important that the grooms also feel that they're appreciated for all they do.
I think that Marg and the people here have been remarkable for that. It's also something I've always believed in. You know, Marg can tell you that when somebody that I first meet says to me, well, what do you do? I'm totally repulsed by that. And what's that got to do with it? I mean, and I think at Spruce Meadows, people, not because it's some sort of plan that we have, it's what we believe in, that there is not a stratification of people. People do different things, for sure, but that doesn't make anybody better than somebody else. And yeah, I think Spruce Meadows, I think people that come here understand that. I think they feel it. And
the horse has a magic about it, doesn't
Yeah.
it? The horse has a magical feeling. I mean, you can have people
yeah,
that,
you can't have a lot of status around a horse when
No.
he's dumping all over you and you have to clean it up and all the rest of it.
well, I think it's more than that, though. If people,
But it's true, huh?
Yeah.
You have to look after the horse. And if you do that, he looks after you. But people have, as Marg says, a great, great attraction to animals, and especially horses.
Yeah, and they don't even have to like them. They even be afraid. They can be afraid of them. They don't want to get too close. But there's the conformation, the look of a horse is beautiful in almost everyone's eyes, from a child to a middle-aged person to a senior person. It's just, he just is something very, very special. And I'm not just sure what that magic is, but I do know it's there. And I see it all the time when people come out to the stables, not when the tournaments are on necessarily, but they bring their children out and they want to go out, they want to see the foals, they love to see the little ones, but they really, really like to see horses.
So many people have visited Spruce Meadows. Sometimes it's a family of 4 or just a few people, or sometimes it's 10 or 12 people, and sometimes it's hundreds of people. And they drive up in their cars or their buses into the main circle and want to go see the horses. Without exception, and countless times I've been there, without exception, they're all talking when they get off the bus or out of their cars. They go in the stables, without exception, everybody falls silent. Watch it sometime. And after 2 or 3 minutes, they start talking, usually in very hushed terms. And that goes to the point. I don't understand what that is. I've always thought of Calgary as a western city, like Marg's upbringing. Maybe it's, but what I'm talking about applies to international visitors too, from all walks of life. Bankers and truck drivers. Same thing happens when you go in the stable. So there is something there. I don't know what that is, but there is something of people identifying with animals. Maybe it happens in the zoo, for all I know, but it certainly happens here.
Yeah. I think the future of Spruce Meadows looks good. I think it's rosy. I think that the basis of what we have here now is stable, it's sound, and it is a lot of work, it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of organizing. Linda knows the horse so well, and she knows the riders, and she knows more and more the people, the corporates, the people that are associated with it. And her heart is really into it, and she will make it better. I have no doubt in my mind that with Nancy and Linda, that this facility, Spruce Meadows, 20 years if you come back, it will be changed in many ways, but it will be changed for the better, because they understand people, they understand the horse, and they understand what makes a facility like this work. And so I'm very proud of Nancy and Linda, and I have no qualms about it. In fact, I believe that this place, I hope I can be here in 20 years, but if I were, I know I would be very proud of what they would have accomplished.
Yeah, well, I believe that too, without reservation. It's also because of the team that you've put together here. I think the leadership is superb. I think, and everybody here has an element of situational leadership.
It's true.
And you can see the same joy and the same commitment in them that you have brought to it, hopefully that I brought to it. I believe that for those years that were left for us, that we want to refine the grounds and the beauty of the grounds. But I think that's really terrific that we can spend these years trying to do that. And the team that's here can be the young old pros that basically have grown up here and will carry it on, as Marg says, far better than we could have ever imagined. And you see it happening every year. I mean, we take it for granted, but I can't think of one thing here that isn't better this year than it was last. And that's gone on for 30 years, and I'm sure it will continue to go on.